El Salvador, a small nation in Central America, has faced significant economic challenges for decades. The country has struggled with poverty, inequality, and limited access to financial services. Decades of political instability and a devastating civil war from 1979 to 1992 left deep scars on the nation's economy. Reliance on a few key agricultural exports, like coffee and sugar, made El Salvador vulnerable to global price fluctuations. This vulnerability has often hindered the country's ability to invest in education, infrastructure, and healthcare. Despite these challenges, the Salvadoran people have shown remarkable resilience. They have consistently sought ways to improve their lives and build a better future for their children. Remittances, money sent home by Salvadorans working abroad, have long been a lifeline for the economy. These remittances, often sent through expensive and slow traditional channels, represent a significant portion of the country's GDP. El Salvador's Bitcoin law, passed in June 2021, made it the first country to recognize Bitcoin as an official currency. Businesses must accept Bitcoin alongside the US dollar. The government launched Chivo Wallet to facilitate Bitcoin transactions. Significant investments were made to support Bitcoin adoption. President Bukele often announced Bitcoin purchases on Twitter. Reactions to Bitcoin adoption have been mixed. The Chivo Wallet rollout faced technical issues and security concerns. The government continues to promote Bitcoin adoption through campaigns. Assessing the economic impact of Bitcoin adoption in El Salvador is a complex task. The short time frame since its implementation makes it challenging to isolate the effects of Bitcoin from other economic factors. Proponents of the move point to an increase in tourism and foreign investment as evidence of Bitcoin's positive impact. Critics, however, argue that Bitcoin's volatility poses a significant risk to the Salvadoran economy. The value of Bitcoin can fluctuate dramatically, which can erode the purchasing power of those who hold the cryptocurrency. The government's decision to invest public funds in Bitcoin has also been met with criticism, as losses in the value of Bitcoin could have a negative impact on the country's finances. Despite the challenges, the adoption of Bitcoin has undoubtedly raised El Salvador's profile on the global stage. The country has become a hub for Bitcoin enthusiasts and entrepreneurs, attracting conferences and events related to the cryptocurrency. El Salvador's experiment with Bitcoin is being closely watched by other countries, particularly in Latin America, who are exploring the potential of digital currencies to address their own economic challenges. The issue of crime in El Salvador is complex and deeply intertwined with the country's economic and social challenges. El Salvador has long struggled with gang violence, extortion, and a high murder rate. These issues have been exacerbated by poverty, unemployment, and a lack of opportunity, particularly for young people. The government's efforts to combat crime have included tough-on-crime policies and investment in law enforcement. However, these measures have had limited success in addressing the root causes of violence. The adoption of Bitcoin has added another layer of complexity to the issue of crime in El Salvador. Some argue that the use of Bitcoin could help to reduce certain types of crime, such as money laundering and extortion, by increasing transparency and accountability in financial transactions. However, there are also concerns that Bitcoin could be used to facilitate illicit activities, such as drug trafficking and cybercrime, due to its decentralized and pseudonymous nature. Data on crime rates in El Salvador since the adoption of Bitcoin is inconclusive, and it is too early to draw any definitive conclusions about the relationship between the two. The government has reported a decrease in certain types of crime, but these claims have been disputed by some observers. It is likely that the impact of Bitcoin on crime in El Salvador will continue to be a subject of debate and analysis for years to come. In a bid to bolster its Bitcoin adoption strategy and attract foreign investment, El Salvador announced plans to issue $1 billion in Bitcoin bonds. These bonds, a world first, were designed to be issued on a blockchain platform, allowing investors to purchase them using Bitcoin. The bonds were structured to offer a 6.5% annual interest rate, paid in Bitcoin, with a portion of the funds raised earmarked for the construction of a Bitcoin city, a special economic zone designed to attract Bitcoin businesses and enthusiasts. The Bitcoin bond issuance was met with great interest from the cryptocurrency community and international investors. However, the bond sale faced delays and ultimately fell short of its fundraising target. The Salvadoran government cited unfavorable market conditions and the volatility of the cryptocurrency market as reasons for the delay. Despite the setbacks, the Bitcoin bond issuance marked another bold experiment by El Salvador, in leveraging blockchain technology to address its economic challenges. The concept of sovereign bonds issued on a blockchain platform has generated significant interest from other countries and could potentially revolutionize the way governments raise capital. El Salvador's embrace of Bitcoin is a novel experiment with potentially far-reaching consequences. The endeavor has been marked by both progress and setbacks, with the long-term impact remaining uncertain. The country's Bitcoin law and the introduction of the Chivo wallet have undoubtedly raised El Salvador's profile on the global stage, showcasing its willingness to embrace innovation. However, the adoption of Bitcoin has not been without challenges. The volatility of Bitcoin's value poses a risk to the Salvadoran economy, and the government's investment in the cryptocurrency has drawn criticism. The rollout of the Chivo wallet faced technical issues, and concerns about security and privacy persist. The issuance of Bitcoin bonds, while facing delays, demonstrates El Salvador's commitment to exploring new avenues for economic growth. The success of these bonds, however, is contingent on a variety of factors, including the performance of Bitcoin, investor confidence, and the government's ability to execute its plans for Bitcoin City. Moving forward, El Salvador faces several challenges in its quest to become a Bitcoin-powered economy. One significant hurdle is the need for greater financial literacy among its citizens. Many Salvadorans remain unfamiliar with Bitcoin and how to use it effectively. The government's educational campaigns, while a step in the right direction, need to be expanded and tailored to reach all segments of society. Another challenge is the need to address the digital divide. While internet and smartphone penetration has been increasing in El Salvador, a significant portion of the population still lacks access to reliable and affordable internet service. This digital divide hinders the widespread adoption of Bitcoin and limits its potential to benefit all Salvadorans. Furthermore, El Salvador must navigate the complex regulatory landscape surrounding cryptocurrencies. The lack of clear and consistent regulations globally creates uncertainty for businesses and investors operating in the Bitcoin space. El Salvador's government will need to work closely with international organizations and other countries to develop a regulatory framework that fosters innovation while mitigating risks. El Salvador's Bitcoin experiment is being closely watched by governments and financial institutions around the world. The country's bold move has sparked a global conversation about the potential of cryptocurrencies to reshape the financial system. Some see El Salvador as a pioneer, paving the way for other countries to adopt Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies as legal tender. Others remain skeptical, pointing to the risks and challenges associated with cryptocurrencies. The outcome of El Salvador's Bitcoin experiment could have significant implications for the future of money and finance, influencing how other countries approach digital currencies and blockchain technology. The international community is monitoring El Salvador's progress with a mix of curiosity and caution. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, and other financial institutions have expressed concerns about the risks associated with El Salvador's Bitcoin adoption, particularly the potential impact on financial stability and the government's fiscal health. El Salvador's decision to embrace Bitcoin as legal tender is a fascinating case study with far-reaching implications. The country's journey highlights the potential of cryptocurrencies to disrupt traditional financial systems and provide greater financial inclusion. However, it also underscores the challenges associated with adopting such a nascent and volatile technology on a national scale. The success or failure of El Salvador's Bitcoin experiment will depend on a multitude of factors, including the government's ability to address the challenges outlined above, the evolution of the cryptocurrency market, and the response of the international community. Regardless of the outcome, El Salvador's bold move has ignited a global debate about the future of money and finance. The country's experience will provide valuable lessons for other nations considering similar paths and could shape the future of how we think about and interact with money. El Salvador's adoption of Bitcoin as legal tender is a bold experiment that continues to unfold. The country's journey is being closely watched by the world, as its successes and failures will likely shape the way other nations approach cryptocurrencies. While it's still too early to definitively assess the long-term impact of El Salvador's Bitcoin law, one thing is certain: the country has become a living laboratory for the future of finance. The experiment is a testament to the Salvadoran people's resilience and their government's willingness to embrace innovation. Whether El Salvador's Bitcoin gamble will ultimately pay off remains to be seen. However, the country's pioneering spirit and its commitment to finding solutions to its economic challenges serve as an inspiration to others seeking to harness the power of technology to create a more inclusive and prosperous future.